Hello children, today I am going to teach you new chapter, that is how do organisms reproduce. It is a 8th chapter in NCERT. Previously I was planning to start new chapter control and coordination, but as CBSE has reduced 30% of syllabus, that is why that chapter is now not in syllabus. So I am going to start this chapter. So what do you mean by this? How do organisms reproduce? There are many processes, especially sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction, by which all the living organisms reproduce. So now very important term that you already studied in previous classes, that is reproduction. So what is this reproduction? It is a process by which an existing organism produces new individual. And we know this reproduction process is very important feature for all the life forms. So now why this reproduction is very important? It is very important for the continuation of different species on Earth. Because of this is life is possible on Earth. And second significance, we can say it is also very important for evolution. Now children, what is this evolution term? That also very important. Evolution, that is very slow and gradual process by which new species are formed from the existing ones after million years. And this evolution is only possible because of variation. Because of variation. This term I will explain in sexual reproduction in details, and it will be clear to you. Now just see the outline. Types of reproduction. What are the two types of reproduction? That is asexual reproduction and another is sexual reproduction. Asexual, that means A means absent. So here sex cells are absent. Now what are the sex cells? Sex cells are sperm and ova. Ova in females and sperm in males. These are absent in asexual reproduction. That is why it is known as asexual, yani absent. Sex cells are absent here. Now on the other hand, sexual reproduction, that means involvement of sex cells, involvement of sex cells. And what are these sex cells? Sperm and ova. Now children, make sure one more important thing, that in all the lower forms of the organism, asexual reproduction is found. But in higher animals, sexual reproduction is found. In higher animals, sexual reproduction is found. That is why they are able to exist. Now, first you just understand the difference between the sexual and asexual reproduction. So, asexual and sexual reproduction. First, most important point in asexual and sexual, that in asexual only one parent is required or only one parent is involved. On the other hand, sexual reproduction, two parents are involved, that is male and female, then only sexual reproduction is possible. In human beings also sexual reproduction is found. Two parents are involved. Another point, as in the beginning I told that asexual, that means sex cells are absent. Here in sexual reproduction, sex cells are present. Third, gamete formation is not there or gamete formation is absent. Gamete formation is absent. Here, in sexual reproduction, gamete formation takes place. Now, we know how gamete, what is this gamete? Actually, gamete means the haploid structure. Haploid, for example, in human body, each cell contains 46 number of chromosomes. And when gamete is formed, then only 23 chromosomes are there. For this small example, I am going to give you sexual reproduction. For example, we know that female is represented by double X and male is represented by XY. That means in the sex cells, 46 chromosomes are there. Here also 46 are there. But when gamete formation takes place, gamete formation means they undergo division. So when they divide equally, the chromosome number also divides. That is, each will get 23 number of chromosomes. So if we consider this ova, that means it is a gamete. If we consider this also sperm, that is also a gamete. So gamete, if definition is asked in the examination, what would you say? Gamete is a haploid structure which contains half set of chromosomes. For example, in any of the organs in the cell, 12 chromosomes are there in diploid structure, but when gamete formation takes place, then only 6 are present, means half of that. I hope it's clear, children. Now, so next point, fourth point. In asexual reproduction, clones are formed. Clones are formed. But in sexual reproduction, clones are not formed. Here you can write, clones are not formed. Now, fifth point, we can say that in asexual reproduction, it takes place in lower forms of organelles. It takes place in lower forms of organelles. But here we can say, fifth point, sexual reproduction, it takes place in higher animals. It takes place in higher animals. So once again, children, just a small revision of it, that asexual, only one parent is required. Sexual, two parents are involved. Asexual, sex cells are absent. I hope what are sex cells? That is sperm and ova. In sexual, sex cells are present. Gamete formation, that is absent in asexual reproduction. And here gamete formation that takes place or present in sexual reproduction. Clones are formed in asexual reproduction. Now the question is, what are clones? Clones are the organs or individuals which are morphologically as well as genetically similar. Morphologically, what is the meaning of this morphology? Morphology means by seeing the outer appearance, or genetically means by the genetic makeup, by the genes. If the individual is morphologically as well as genetically similar, it is termed as clones. And such type of clones are not formed in sexual reproduction. That is why we can say sexual reproduction is only responsible for variation. And if it is responsible for variation, it leads to the evolution process. That means formation of new species. And now the question is that what is this new species? We know that the life started from many million years ago on Earth. Since then, the changes takes place in the human beings. A very simple example. Previously in the human beings, tail were there, but now it is not there. Only the last bone, coccyx is present. So day by day changes appear. That is variation. And previously we were unable to walk erect. We were unable to stand erect. That means, but now time changes as I am standing straight. This is also a change. This is also a speciation. This is also a evolution process. I hope you understood this. Now, types of asexual reproduction. So, for the types of asexual reproduction are as follows. Number 1, fission. Number 1, fission, then budding, regeneration, fragmentation, vegetative propagation, and spore formation. That we have to learn in this chapter. Fission, budding, regeneration, vegetative propagation, and spore formation. So dear student, it is very important question. It can be asked in 5 marks also. Explain the types of asexual reproduction. So fission. Fission means splitting or breaking down. For example, this marker is there. If I cut it in 2 equal pieces, that is known as fission. Fusion means joining up, but fission means the splitting or breaking down of an individual into 2 daughter cells. So first is fission. Second is budding. Here bud-like outgrowth is formed. Regeneration means, for example, lizard. Lizard can regenerate its tail. That means it has regenerative power because of the presence of regenerative cells. So in some of the organisms also, they are having the ability to reproduce or regain its lost part. That comes under regeneration. Vegetative propagation means if the formation of any new individual takes place from the vegetative parts. So what are these vegetative parts? Root, stem, leaves. These are considered as vegetative parts. If any individual develops from these parts, it is known as vegetative propagation. Now last is spore formation. Here through spores new individuals are formed. Now just listen, I am going to explain it one by one. Now first is fission. Fission is again divided into 2. That is binary fission children, in computer you learn two numbers, binary numbers. These are 0 and 1. That means 2. Similarly, binary fission means any organism when cut into two equal daughter cells, that is known as binary fission. Now another type of fission is multiple fission. Binary, for example, in amoeba, bacteria, binary fission is only found. So whenever, for example, amoeba is there, amoeba, you know children, amoeba can take any of the shape. For example, this is the nucleus. So first it get elongated. It get elongated means just like this. I hope it's clear. So when here it can stick in the middle, it can, in another diagram I am going to show it to you. This type means here in the middle demarcation appear. So now it is ready to divide into two. So in next it will be formed as a separate daughter cells. So two different daughter cells are. Now, why do we call it as daughter cells? Because daughters or females has the ability to reproduce. That is why it is called as a daughter cell. So this is what it is, binary fission. So example you can say amoeba, bacteria all comes under binary fission. Now multiple fission. Here there is different. Like plasmodium. You know that plasmodium is a positive pathogen of malaria. How it reproduces. For example, here it is a nucleus. So what this undergo repeated division. When repeated division takes place, then what would happen? Many numerous nuclei are formed. Numerous nuclei are formed. And these are covered inside a outer covering. One outer protective covering is there. That covering is known as cyst. What do we call this covering? That is cyst. So when it ruptures, then these are released and they can produce, they undergo means produces new individuals. So this is what? This is multiple fission. So multiple fission in which many numerous nuclei are formed. Nucleus undergo repeated division and many nuclei are formed, and these nuclei are well protected inside an outer covering called cyst. Now, budding. What is this budding? It's clear when any individual is formed by the bud-like outgrowth. So, we can say any bud-like outgrowth is formed. For example, this is yeast. If a small bud-like outgrowth is formed like this, and when it matures, it deattaches. But there is a difference. Once again, I am telling you, when any individual is formed by the bud-like outgrowth and when it matures, it deattaches from the parent and grow into new individuals. So here also there is a difference. In case of yeast and hydra are the example of it. Here multiple present example is plasmodium. So in case of yeast, this bud-like outgrowth that remains on the parent individual only. But in case of hydra, that remains, that deattaches from the parent when it becomes mature. So example you can write yeast and hydra. Now regeneration. Regeneration, that means in some of the organisms which are having specialized cells, and these specialized cells are known as regenerative cells. That means they are having capacity to divide very fast and regain its lost parts. For example, planaria. Even this hydra is also having the highest regeneration power. That means in both the cases you can write the example of hydra. So regeneration, that means any organisms which are having regenerative cells and they can regain its lost part if it can cut, it is known as regeneration. Example is planaria and hydra. Hydra you can write in both. If it can ask under budding also, if it can ask in regeneration. But planaria is having highest power of regeneration. Planaria is very small organism. If it cut into even 100 pieces, each piece or each cut part has the ability to reproduce its lost part. This is known as regeneration. Now, vegetative propagation. That means the formation of new individual from the vegetative parts. What are these vegetative parts? These are root, stem and leaves. Flower is not there. Flower means the reproductive part of the plant. Flower is called as the reproductive part which comes under sexual reproduction. So here only root, stem and leaves are there. Vegetative propagation is also of two types. Now what are they? First is natural and another one is vegetative, that is artificial. I hope it's clear. Vegetative propagation is also of two types, natural and artificial. Now, natural, we can say when we are putting the potato inside the ground. Potato is what? Potato is what? That is a modified stem. Or ginger, we can take the example. Ginger is a modified stem only. Onion is a stem only. When we put inside the ground, we are getting the new plant. So it is the natural method only. Or we can say the vegetative propagation by leaves also comes under it. Bryophyllum leaves. Children, did you see this leaf? A large leaf is there, like that. Large leaf is there, and at the notches of this leaf, the leaflets appear like that. The leaflets appear. This also comes under natural vegetative propagation. But example is bryophyllum. So when these two leaves fall on the ground along with the root, they grow into new individuals. So it is also a natural vegetative propagation. Sugarcane, that is also a stem. When we put it into the ground, what would happen? We are getting sugarcane plant. So this also comes under vegetative propagation. Root, carrot and radish, that is considered as a root. Why we considered as a root? Because in lower classes we studied that root is what? Underground part of the plant which is brown in color. But that is not okay with all. Radish and carrot, that is also considered as a root. Why? Because they are having hair, they are having primary root, secondary root, tertiary root, and even leaves also appear from its basal part. So that is why it is also considered as a root. When we put carrot into the ground, it gives new plant. So it also a natural vegetative propagation. Now artificial. Artificially means by artificial method we can also undergo this vegetative propagation. So these are of three types. That is cutting, layering Third one is grafting. What is that? Grafting. Cutting means when we cut, for example, rose we cut and put into the ground, we are getting new plant. This is cutting. Layering, like jasmine. Layering means whenever the large branches means downward move or grows downward, touches the ground, the wind blown by it, then it is covered by a layer of soil and root also emerges from their place. We cut that part and grow somewhere else. It also comes as a new plant. Grafting. Grafting, that is also artificial method in our country. Now it is promoting so much. Here in grafting, in case of grafting, two plants are selected. For example, mango plant. Two mango plants are selected, one for root, one for stem. So a plant which is having the strong root, mango plant, that is known as stalk. The root part is known as a stalk. For example, two mango trees are there. One is considered for a root. This is considered for the root, so it is known as stalk. Another, this is considered for the upper part, stem part. So it is known as scion. What do we call it as a scion? Learn the two terms. A plant which is selected for the root, this is known as stalk. A plant which is selected for the stem known as scion. Now what would happen? What we will do? In short time we want the new plant with good fruit. So what we will do? We cut this upper part of this plant and this upper part of this plant also. But this upper part we paste here. This is known as grafting. For example, we cut or we remove this part. Now we cut upper part, that is scion, and we paste here. Now how we paste it? We tied it with the thread, and we always remember while cutting it must be slant cut like that. So both the plants that attached firmly, and after some time, we can say after few days, when we open this thread, it will become a new plant. So within very short time, forest organization, these are doing, forest department, they are promoting this very much nowadays in our country for mango, for guava, lemon, then we amla, for so many things for the commercialization process. So this is known as grafting. Why? We are grafting the part. Now come to spore formation. Spore formation. Spore means what? Spore is a small seed-like structures. So these are formed inside a sporangium. These are formed inside sporangium. For example, this is what? Inside it so many spores are formed, and this outer covering is known as sporangium. Sporangium is a singular term, but if we talk about many more sporangium, then we call it as a sporangia. What do we call it as a sporangia? So when these spores are the tiny seed-like structures. When they become mature fully, then this outer covering that breaks and it releases spores in the air. So then favorable condition means the perfect temperature, moisture, humidity, what they want to germinate. If it is there, they start germinating and form new one. But if favorable condition is not there, they are also having the capacity to generate or to generate the covering in order to provide the protection to itself. So in favorable condition, that covering breaks and again they are released out and forms the new individuals. So my dear children, I hope it's clear to you. These are the different types of asexual reproduction. In another video, I will explain to you about the sexual reproduction in details.